that guru is anyone who has become competent in controlling the tongue, controlling the mind, anger, the belly, and the genital. If these 6 kinds of control are there, he is fit for becoming a spiritual master teacher. Prtiving yasishyat. He can make disciples all over the world. And if you cannot control your tongue, your anger, your mental concoction and speculation, then how can you become a spiritual master? It is not possible to realize Kṛṣṇa unless all these are controlled. One who can control the senses is called Goswami or Swami, master of the senses, master of controlling these 6 kinds of sensory activities. So the beginning of authentic spiritual life is controlling jihva, the tongue. Sevon mukhe hi jihvadau, svayam eva spuratyadaha. Seva. The tongue can be engaged in the service of the Lord. How? You chant the holy names of Kṛṣṇa and always glorify his qualities, activities, and so on. Savai mana Kṛṣṇa padara vindayor, vachangshi vaikunta gunanuvarnane, karau harer mandira majanadishu, shrutim chakarachuta shatkatodaye, mukunda lingayalala darshane drashau, tadbritya gatra sparshenga sangamam, grahanam chatatpada saroja saurabhe, Srimat tulasya rasanam tadarpite. Padau hare kshetra padanu sarpane. Shiro hrishi kesapada bhivindane. Kamang chadasye nachukama kamyaya. Yatottama shloka janasraya ratihi. King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the bodies of the devotees, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a topmost pure devotee of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 9:4, 18 through 20. So this is the process of devotional service, engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. And it begins with the tongue. Vachangshi means talking. Talking is the business of the tongue, and tasting is also the business of the tongue. So you engage the tongue in the service of the Lord by glorifying him and by tasting the prasadam, or food offered to him. You take a vow that whenever I shall speak, I shall simply speak to glorify Kṛṣṇa, nothing more. That is control of the tongue. If you don't allow your tongue to speak any nonsense, then your tongue will be purified. We often sit together and talk so much nonsense. That should be controlled. Now I have engaged my tongue for the service of the Lord, so we shall not talk anything about sense gratification. That is controlling the tongue. I cannot eat anything except pure vegetarian food which is offered to Kṛṣṇa. This is controlling the tongue. So these are simple, easy techniques, but they have great, great value, because Kṛṣṇa will be pleased by our austerity and he will reveal himself. You cannot understand Kṛṣṇa by your own tiny effort. You cannot see Kṛṣṇa with your material eyes. You cannot order Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa, please come, dancing and playing your flute, and I shall see you. No, Kṛṣṇa is not subject to your order. You cannot make Kṛṣṇa appear so that you can see him. Therefore, our approach to understanding Kṛṣṇa, realizing Kṛṣṇa, is to act in such a way that Kṛṣṇa will want to see us. So this is the secret of God realization. This is how to attain Kṛṣṇa. This is a deep secret which is hardly known by anyone. You will not find it in any book. It can only come from the self-realized souls who have already realized Kṛṣṇa and can share from their experience. So just like if you want to get my attention, you say, "Hey, David." Hey, you call my name. Huh? So similarly, if we want to get Krishna's attention, we call his name. Hare Krishna. Or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And this gets Krishna's attention. He is, after all, a person. So if you call him, he will respond. And he may not respond immediately. He may be testing us to see if we're really sincere. So this is Krishna's way of finding out if we are really after him or if we're after some other thing or simply using him. He's not stupid. So he's been through this many times before, where someone will call him and then try to use him to gain whatever they want. Well, what we want is Krishna's pleasure. This is devotee. This is self-realization. To want to push on Krishna's agenda in the world. And therefore, Bhagavad-gita was spoken. Arjuna created a pretext so that Krishna would speak and give wisdom to everyone in the world. Arjuna pretended not to want to do his duty. And therefore, Krishna had to convince him, "Oh no, this is not good. You're going to look like a fool. You're going to bring infamy on yourself. Therefore, you must do your duty." And this is the pretext for Bhagavad-gita. So Bhagavad-gita teaches, above all, that we should do our duty in the service of God. So what is our duty? Well, what are you doing now? You're working, maintaining a household, having so many friends, relationships, family, and so on. So if you do all this instead of for yourself, for Kṛṣṇa, that makes all the difference in the world. For example, let's start with a simple thing. Every day we cook for ourselves, and we have to eat. Everyone has to eat. So instead of going to restaurants, or instead of cooking non-vegetarian food, we cook instead for Kṛṣṇa. Well, what does Kṛṣṇa want? Kṛṣṇa wants vegetarian food. He doesn't accept non-vegetarian food. So meat, fish, and eggs are out. Also, Kṛṣṇa doesn't accept very pungent things in the mode of ignorance, like anything fermented. So we can't offer Kṛṣṇa liquor or beer or anything like that. Neither onions, garlic, or things like that leave a pungent taste on the tongue. If you give these things up, you will find it very strange to be around people who still eat them. Why? Because they stink. That's why Kṛṣṇa doesn't want us to take these things. They're impure. And you are what you eat, so they make our consciousness impure. We cannot approach Kṛṣṇa and we cannot attract Kṛṣṇa when we have impure senses or impure body, impure mind or impure heart. Therefore, all these things have to be purified, and the process of purification begins with the tongue. So every day, please chant Kṛṣṇa's name, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and offer Kṛṣṇa nice vegetarian food. And this will help us to become purified, so we can attain our perfect bodies.
Namo
We hope you've enjoyed this edition of My Perfect Body. This is David Hughes, your host, reminding you to visit us on the web at esotericteaching.org, where you can purchase the complete Esoteric Teaching Introductory Seminar DVD and many CDs of transcendental music and mantras.